beat fair and square. We'll talk about next week's matchup a little bit. I kind of want to focus on our 11-man roster.
I would love to. I would love to get into it. So yeah. Do you want to give a little context on it?
Yeah. So we are building the best all-time 11-man roster, a team where everybody has to play both ways. So everyone's going to play two positions. And we both drafted a team. We're going to try to, I think, get it down to just 11 men because I think a lot of our guys overlap, but I have some different guys than you do. We'll try to settle it to just 11 guys.
I have one update, I think, since I sent you my list, but I've been working on it for a minute. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at quarterback, and who will also be playing middle linebacker, we both have Andrew Luck.
Okay, bet. So I think if you've seen the clip of him at Stanford where he rocks the dude who picked up a fumble, he can tackle. Like, you don't just accidentally do that. So he can definitely tackle. And if you look at his height, weight, and 40 time, he's like the same size, a little bit bigger actually, and a little bit slower, just barely slower than Luke Kuechly. And both those guys have the same mental. Like, if he's playing middle linebacker for me, I know that he's going to be the quarterback of the defense. And we could, kind of probably run different defensive formations to maybe give him less responsibility. Even if he's not lined up at middle linebacker every play, he's going to be the quarterback of the defense. I think that one, there was a couple other guys I considered there, but
I'd say a lot of people would make an argument for Cam Newton.
For sure.
And I think a lot of people's arguments against Andrew Luck is like the health thing. Come on,
that's not.
We're making a hypothetical 11-man team.
They have to play 140 snaps a game. They're not going to be like. And
we're drafting the Iron Man versions of these people.
Yes, they have fatigue. Like, you went into Madden, you moved the fatigue and injury to 0.
Yeah, exactly.
Every other stat is the same.
Yep. All right, so I don't have mine in like a specific order, so I kind of just have dudes written down.
Yeah.
But
you do have like positions. Okay.
I do have positions. Wide receiver and corner, and also punt returner and kick returner, because we do need to fill out the special teams roles. This one was pretty easy. You have him too. Deion Sanders.
Prime time. He just does too much. He's probably, if you were gonna like competitively draft this team and you had like replacement, he's probably consensus number 1 because he's arguably the best corner ever, right? And then
no, but
arguably.
I think it's a bad argument, but yeah, sure.
Arguably.
Okay.
Maybe in bad faith. But he's arguably the greatest return specialist of all time. I would go Hester, but arguably.
Yep, arguably.
And in this hypothetical, if he has unlimited stamina, he probably would have been one of the better wide receivers / offensive threats of all time.
And he was a good offensive threat. Like every single team he was on utilized him in some form on offense.
They literally were like, we need to use this guy on offense.
Yeah.
Everywhere he went.
So
and even on like picks and stuff, the defense would be like, where's Prime? I'm gonna throw the ball back to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, just get the ball in the guy's hands.
Another wide receiver corner. I think I went in a different direction here. I'm going Travis Hunter.
Okay.
I think it's really hard to build this team without putting the kid who literally won a Heisman as a two-way player, being an excellent corner and an excellent wide receiver.
Wait a minute. Oh, totally fair. And he's kind of the genesis of this question when I was like he's the reason that I like considered it. And I was like, maybe this could be a thing. I do think, though, if we're talking about two-way Heisman players, there's another guy that is pretty damn good that I think you could argue would give Trav a run for his money.
And that's who? Charles Woodson?
Charles Woodson.
Is that your
that's who I have
in corner?
Like, if we stacked our rosters next to each other, that's who I would have instead of Travis, I think, the way that yours is shaping up.
Did Charles Woodson play as much offense as Travis Hunter did when he was at Michigan?
In college, he played as much? No, because no one's played as much as Travis Hunter since like the 30s. Probably a little bit later than that. Like, he played every snap. Like, that's unheard of, right? But Charles Woodson was a pretty big part of like the Michigan offense, and he was the same thing with Prime, like get the ball in his hands guy. He was their kick, punt returner, everything, you know. And he did have I want to say 8 or 9 touchdowns his Heisman year. offensively, maybe and special teams. But
So
he didn't have like 1,000 yards receiving. It was less than. He didn't win the Belindikov. Yeah.
yeah. So I find it very hard to argue for Hunter over Woodson. But there's a few reasons why I lean Hunter.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why I lean Woodson, and I think it's because I think with a team like this, it's probably more valuable to have like good corners because I think wide receiver is um, there's more transferable skills that go from corner to wide
Exactly.
receiver than from wide receiver to corner. But the reason I would rather go Hunter over Woodson is because it allows us not to stray so far from the hypothetical in a sense that like you can just insert Travis into this team and you know that he can play corner and wide receiver. You don't have to like throw Charles Woodson in there and then be like, dude, he would be such a good wide receiver. Like you know Trav can play both ways.
Yeah.
You know Charles Woodson is a great, if not one of the best corners of all time. But we realistically, you don't know how good of a wide receiver he'd be.
Yeah, he I think he had like 20 or so reps at wideout with the Raiders early in his career, and he definitely was involved in special teams in the NFL in some capacities throughout his career. But it was never like he never did enough to make it like we have to get this guy on offense.
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas Trav is, now, I mean, he plays snaps defensively, but he is primarily a wide receiver.
Yeah. I also think because Travis Hunter, trust me, I was going back and forth between the two. I think that one of the bigger things that kind of like pushed me towards him is Dion is like notoriously a not physical corner. Like he is just a guy that like is going to do everything else but tackle unless he needs to. And Wood, like he was a physical football player, So if you're going up against a team that could exploit a non-physical corner, you can have a guy like Woodson so that that, like he's not going to get, you're not going to get bullied by a wide receiver one. You could have Woodson to put there. Not saying Travis isn't physical. I just think comparatively, Woodson has the edge there. A little bit.
I guess. I feel like it's hard to pull in like who is this all-time 11-man team going to be playing? Like, are they playing other all-time like two-way teams or are they playing just regular football teams? So I don't know how much of an argument I feel like exploiting physical corners or like trying to. I guess maybe if you just want a well-rounded roster.
That's kind of what my goal is to like fill up the abilities for your team to the max in every facet, I guess.
Okay. So I feel like honestly, I feel like we don't have to settle on a singular 11-man roster. I think we both have our teams, and we'll just share them. So I've got Trav, you've got Charles Woodson. The next guy I've got on my list, I know you have on yours, and I think would be on everybody's list. And he plays tight end and defensive end.
Yes,
and that's JJ Watt.
JJ, not McCarthy. Watt. Yeah. Yep. If he got like an actual run at it at tight end in the league, bro would have been so good. Like if you just watch the couple highlights where they brought him in, like he's making tough catches, he's running decent routes. Think about him as a fucking blocker. I mean, and then the defense speaks for itself. I think that between him and Prime, that's your number one overall pick.
Yeah, I would agree. So one of the best defensive players of all time, has a damn near an MVP season at defensive end.
Yes, MVP.
Scored 4 or 5 touchdowns that year. Scored 2 or 3 offensively. Like it was awesome. Like I remember being 12 years old and watching JJ Watt run around, and that was just like
he was
just like this guy's insane. Yeah, he was hitting nay.
I want to say he lost to 2 interception Rodgers too. Is that true?
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
But I think he won to like a MVP season. Was just like he would have won it in like 80% of the other ones.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. No, JJ is nasty. He's awesome. And if like in the sense of the hypothetical too, you're getting the peak player, right? Like,
yep.
There's definitely guys that had better careers than JJ at the position, defensive end. Peak wise, he's at the tippity top of the list. Like there's very few people that eke him out at his peak.
Yeah.
Dude was
I also just realized I don't have a kicker or a punter on here.
Ooh,
Um,
ooh, okay.
so
So
that'll be
actually,
interesting.
going back to quarterback, I debated Randall Cunningham a lot
He's
just
got a
because he's
boomer.
such a good punter. And you know how fun that would be to have a team that every fourth down lines up like they're gonna go for it because they have maybe the best punter in the NFL playing QB, and he could just punt it for whatever reason.
Yeah, just have no one back
There
there.
is so much fun. Yeah, it would be so fun.
So I want to fill out our skill position guys before we get to linemen because I feel like the linemen
Yep.
we can sort of breeze through.
Yep.
I've got this guy playing free safety, running back, and wide receiver wherever you want to put
Sure.
him.
Sure.
I've got a Dory Jackson.
Okay. Can't hate.
think
Love it, Dory Jackson.
I think you're sort of sacrificing some skill defensively.
A
Uh,
little bit.
he's obviously not the best free safety that's ever graced an NFL football field,
Mm-hmm.
but I think being able to play offensively, I believe he played a good amount offensively in college. Like
Oh yeah, he
he was
played.
a big two-way player.
His limitation would have been fatigue and package. Like he was like wide receiver probably 2 on those USC teams.
Yeah, so I'll put in a caveat that I just now thought of that maybe I probably should have gone Tyrann Mathieu over him. So I feel like he's probably a guy who might have been better. But
Eh,
but for a guy
free
who I
safety
think
wise.
I don't know if Tyrann would be so good at wide receiver or running back. I think Adoree like offensively is way more of a threat than a lot of
Yeah.
guys you could pick at this free safety
Oh yeah.
position.
I would probably go a Dory over Matthew in the sense of the hypothetical because I like Tyrann Mathieu is like his kind of like specialty, I guess, was like his physical nature. Like he was
Mm-hmm.
such a good hitter, so fast to the ball. And like I don't think that he would have been a guy that could like route you up or like have, a lot of value on offense unless you're just doing stuff to get him the ball. And considering how good these teams are going to be, he's not going to be worthy of like running jet pass touches too when you have other guys, right? You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah.
So,
What do you have at your free safety and etc.?
I have Waffle House at free safety. You know
Always
why he's called
open.
Waffle House? Because he's always open. That's Julio
We got
Jones.
oh damn! I didn't even think about
So
putting an offensive player there. So you went for the more 3 wide receiver route.
So I was looking at the team and I had gone free safety was always defense for me because it's an important position and it's hard to find. It's a lot easier to find the skills that translate, like you were saying, defensive guys that have obvious offensive skills versus offensive guys that have obvious defensive skills.
Mm-hmm.
Julio has the track down tackle on that one guy on a play that doesn't even fucking count, and he knows it doesn't count. So first of all, dog.
He's got the hit stick on the Cowboys guy.
He's got the hit stick on the Cowboys guy.
He's got
so
another.
He's
hit
a
stick
willing
on
hitter.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's a great pick.
And
really good pick.
when I was looking at the team too, I was like, Prime is great. Is he a wide receiver 1 in every sense? I don't know. Pretty damn close, but there's probably matchups that he could get, the worst end of. Julio is a true wide receiver 1. So I think that also unlocks Dion a little bit. I think it unlocks Woodson to have a lesser role as a receiving threat too. So I like Julio. He was like probably the biggest pick for me in this process because I thought of him like last and I was like, oh fuck, this could be good. So
I really like that. I like that. I think you might be thin at running back, which could hurt you.
Very thin.
Because I've got another guy at strong safety who can also play running back, who can also play receiver, has done it all. Just signed with the Steelers a couple days ago.
Oh,
that's Jabril Peppers.
Oh, okay. Boy. Yeah. See, he was, I really wanted to put him on this team. I mean, if you look at players that have won basically the defensive player of the year in college football, he has like 11 positions listed for his award. They gave him the award and they said Jabril Peppers, quarterback, halfback, wide receiver, safety, linebacker,
corner, dude,
return specialist. Like it's literally like, other than playing in the absolute trenches, he could do everything on the football field. And running back is a little bit of a free roll position because it's not like you need like you don't need a running back necessarily to play running back. It's probably the easiest position to
Throw someone
learn,
in.
I guess,
Yeah.
or throw someone in. That's a better way to put it. So he's going to help out a lot with weird packages on defense, on offense, everything. Great guy to have on the team. I
can play literally anywhere on the football field.
Yes.
That's sort of why I brought him in. Maybe not the most skilled. I'm sure there are guys I'm sure there's like a dozen or more guys you can make an argument that should be in the spot over him. But there are I don't think there are more guys who could play more positions than he could. I've only got him at strong safety, running back, wide receiver right now, but he can play outside linebacker.
Everything.
He can rush the passer if he wants to. He can play corner
if he wants to.
It just from a play calling standpoint, you can do so much more with Jabril Peppers on your team than if you don't have him.
Exactly. Juice guy too, like good energy guy for the team, just a great addition. So he was the running back was the hardest one for me to pick. I don't know if I made the right choice. I could be definitely talked into Jabril here, but I had it between like 4-ish guys. So really, 4 guys, I guess. So it was between Jabril, Sweetness, who I ultimately determined was too small, Bo Jackson, who I ultimately determined wouldn't be suitable enough on defense, and the guy I ultimately went with, since I picked Julio, I felt like I could lean more defensive here. I'm going with Troy Polamalu.
I really like the pick defensively.
Mm-hmm.
I get the whole you can throw anyone in at running back. But I don't know. I feel like there might be some guys who would be able to run the ball better. Troy Polamalu was a pretty good return man. Like he was exciting once he had the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
But
I don't think that I think that his like offensive role, he's definitely the weakest offensive player I have.
Because you don't have a running back right now.
No. And it's a weakness of the team for sure. That's why it was the hardest position to pick. But I feel like pass protection is going to be great. And like I just feel like in the offense, you're not going to ask, in at least the offense that my team would run, I'm just not going to ask the running back to do too much. I think we see a lot of times like NFL teams have success with basically nobody at running back. And they're not doing it in, offenses that highlight the running back. They're using it in offenses that hide the running back, if anything. So I would have to see it work because he could definitely just like not be able to run the football and we can't establish the run game and then we get fucked. But I think that he would be just good enough that the offense could still excel around him and he would be so good on defense. Got a guy like Julio behind him. Julio says, yo, Troy, do whatever the fuck you want. I got the back half of the field every single play. If they're going deep, I'm getting it. You just go over there and jump over the line.
The both of them can like step up and play linebacker, which is nice.
Yeah.
Like Julio, like I feel like Julio at sub linebacker is insane.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate the pick. I think it's gonna be tough to establish the run though.
Yes, I definitely, if I could get talked out of any position, it's running back. So we'll talk about it a little bit later. We could go like final roster eventually or whatever, but I kind of like just throwing the guys out there, like you were saying.
Okay. And then O-line, 2 guys that we both have, I think, Aaron Donald and Larry Allen.
So I didn't choose Donald. D-line.
You don't have Aaron Donald?
He's probably the first lineman off my list, considering him a ton. Definitely have Larry Allen. I mean, the dude's a freak. Basically that's basically the opposite of Aaron Donald. Like Aaron Donald's the offensive version of Larry Allen and vice versa. Aaron Donald's not going to be the reason you lose a football game. I'll tell you that on offense or defense. So I can't hate the pick at all. I just logistically it worked a little bit better with other guys for me.
So these are like my interior.
You'll see why.
Defensive line guys. So who do you have at your other D line, D tackle?
Okay, so I have JJ Watt, Larry Allen, and then Bruce Matthews.
I also have Bruce Matthews, but that's D end, not D tackle.
Oh, I'm kind of running 3-4, I guess.
Okay, I'm running like a 5-3-5.
Okay, I know who the other guy that I would include on the D line if I had to, I guess, considering the people I have. It's between two guys, but they'll both get named eventually. I'll start with Buckus.
I don't have Buckus on the list.
Played center at Illinois.
So
One of the biggest freaks of all time.
I've got Chuck Bednarik at my center.
Oh, yeah.
And linebacker.
So Bednarik, I would love to get. Can I get the mic for a little bit on Bednarik? Because
go crazy, dude. I read up a little bit on him. I can't remember. Wait, I made this like a couple weeks ago, so I can't remember everything that I did. But if you do,
I just have a couple facts about him. So he's on the team for sure. His nickname is Charlie Concrete. Okay, first of all, why was his nickname Charlie Concrete? You'd think it's because he's some like menacing guy. No, it's because like in that version of the NFL, players didn't make like bozo bucks, so like he still had to support his family. He would have a fucking job while he was in the NFL laying concrete, and then he eventually became like a concrete sales guy and like made a bunch of money as a concrete salesman, probably more than he ever did playing football. But that's like maybe the coolest nickname I've ever heard, Charlie Concrete, and the story behind it. That's so sick. Also, Vince Lombardi is undefeated. Well, he has one loss in his entire career as a coach in the postseason. And in that game, the undisputed MVP of the Philadelphia Eagles, who beat the Green Bay Packers in Vince Lombardi's first ever playoff game, was Chuck Bednarik. He made like a play at the end of the game where he tackled a Packers player like 10 yards short of the goal line or whatever. And he just like laid on him and wouldn't let them to get the ball. And he was like I forget what he had like an iconic line that he said to the guy that was like at the bottom of the pile. But yeah, just legendary. And he has a little anti-Packers streak in him, so that's awesome. And then I think he's of like the old guys that it's kind of like, oh well, everyone played two ways back then. He's not necessarily in that era. He's the last guy to actually play two ways in the NFL consistently. And he was like an undisputed dog at both positions. I love Chuck Bednarik so much.
So he's on your team as well?
Yes.
Okay.
So I guess he played like linebacker, I believe, like officially.
Yeah. Yep.
And he played center. So I have him at linebacker, but he could definitely play D end. Absolutely could play D end.
Yeah. I've got Bruce Matthews at my D end and tackle.
Or D tackle, I mean, sorry.
And I have Bruce Matthews as my long snapper. I believe he.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Did a little bit of long snapping.
He did some long snapping. He also was an all-pro at 4 out of 5 offensive line positions, and
which is exactly why we got him on this team. Which brings me to my last guy, who I've got for a similar reason. Not going to make a big impact defensively, but on the offensive side, he's going to be a rock. It's going to be Tristan Wirfs, first ever All-Pro at right and left tackle. I needed a guy. I needed another tackle. Like I had Bruce Matthews, who I don't even think is, or who did I have on the offensive side of the ball? Well, I guess I had
Larry Allen played tackle at some point in his career, but he was always better as a guard.
Yeah,
you have Bednarik at center, and you have Matthews played tackle a lot, but you have him at guard.
I have Bruce Matthews at tackle.
At tackle, okay,
yeah. So Tristan Wirfs is my other tackle, who's just like the guy. You can put him on either side depending on where you're. You could literally just like match against whatever defensive lineman is on the better one on whatever side. You just put Tristan Wirfs there; it's going to nullify it, and then you can just throw him at T tackle on defense. Yeah,
you could literally switch him on every play, like you're saying. Especially with a guy like Matthews to clean up anything that would be funky otherwise. Like maybe, who's your other tackle?
Bruce Matthews.
So like you could use Larry Allen on like the side that has, the better interior rush, and you could use Wirfs on the side that has the scarier end or whatever. And like it's just a great like your offensive line will always be giving like having an advantage over the D line, no matter how the D line stacks themselves. And so going back to Aaron Donald, who is your guard, right?
Yep.
I was between him, Anthony Munoz, and another guy for my last offensive line position. And I ended up going with a guy who Jake Moody won the award of, previously mentioned in the show, and that is the Lou Groza Award, which goes to the best kicker in college football. And it was named after Lou Garza, who was an all-pro NFL tackle.
and he won the best kicker in college.
Yes. He's like the Browns' second best. He's like the Browns' second best player of all time. He played like a full career, with the Browns at tackle and at kicker. And then like the last 5 years of his career, he was just a kicker because he was that good.
That's very cool. That's very cool. I didn't even know he existed. That's a great pick. That's a spectacular pick. I don't know.
He's kind of a like I think you'd be hard pressed to find a better fit for some guy who can kick. I thought about like Ocho Cinco, but
yeah,
not as good of a kicker and not good enough at wide receiver to be on this team, honestly. But yeah, so he's a pretty good pick. And also when you have like Larry Allen can be on the side with Lou Garza because he wasn't all pro tackle, but he, stepped down from like the other guys, I guess, on this list in some sense. So Larry Allen can give him some help. And then I had Buck Hiss, who, I mean, he played center at Illinois. He is maybe the best linebacker of all time, if not top 3. He has good hands too. Like he's fucking awesome. At some point I had Bronco Nagurski. At some point I had Nagurski, but he's just a little bit too small, in my opinion.
Yeah, I tried to stray away from the guys from like the 30s and the 40s. Like, yes, they played both ways, but like it's such a different game. It was physical, but I think like just the build of everybody now, like realistically, I think there are better athletes in the NFL in the past 30 years than there have been in the last in the 70 before that.
And what the positions were calling you to do back then were so much less that like basically you're just putting a good athlete at a certain position rather than like a cornerback or a linebacker, right? You're just saying, hey, go see ball and hit the guy. You're right. And then on offense, block the dude in front of you. Like there's just a lot of guys that did that in the old days. And other than like Bednarik, who's later, he's like 60s, I want to say, but 50s and 60s. But like there's not a ton of guys that like stand out a ton as like really, really good dudes. There was the center for the Steelers or something. He was really good. I forget his name, but he's old as hell. Pretty good team. Pretty fun.
Yeah,
pretty fun thought experiment.
See if maybe I can put together like a graphic or something because that's gonna be hard to edit into a video.
I can help out with that. I could try to help out with that.
A graphic might work a little better. But I mean, I guess we got the. We'll try to wrap it up. We're past an hour now, so we can just really quickly cover the Bears. I think I got to go to the mall and go shop and get some.
Can I do
clothes for work?
Just some schizo real quick, just about the team.
About the Bears?
No, about just that your gunners are going to be Palomalu and Woodson, and then you could run 11 personnel on offense. That's how we described it, right? But you could run 12 by moving Andrew Luck to tight end and putting Dion at QB, or in your situation, you put Jabril Peppers at QB potentially. You could run 21 by moving Woodson to the Z and moving Dion to the running back. If you're gonna do like a more of like a wishbone look, I guess. And then you could move JJ Watt to an offensive line position, probably a guard position, and move Dick Buckus to fullback if you're going to do more of an I formation. Because I think Dick Buckus at fullback would be fucking awesome.
You have thought it out far more in depth.
I put a lot. Like, I mean, if we want to, I got this.
It's like the guy on Twitter, like the first round mock, the fake like former NFL scout who like dropped his like scouting notes and they look like schizo writings.
Yeah.
That's like what that
literally. It is very similar, very similar. But yeah, fun experiment. Hopefully somebody out there gets a little bit obsessed with it and sees if they can come up with better rosters than us.
Yeah.